Part 1. White Clouds. Ethereal Moon. The Cause of Sorrow. Though most stars will still glimmer in the crisp winter air, the blue sea star has gone back into hiding. Legend states that the goddess prays for peace from her home in the heavens. In the town of Garreg-Mach, the anniversary of the monastery's completion nears, and the people's prayers intensify ahead of the Millennium Festival, still 5 years hence.
Sorry to trouble you.
It's just, I was wondering why it seems as if no one values their own lives. Why do we fight until we die? Why do we kill without hesitation? I hate it. I don't like taking lives, or even the sight of blood. In the last battle, some of the soldiers under my command died for foolish reasons. Those soldiers could have pulled back. Instead, they kept fighting and were overrun. Am I supposed to be satisfied with the victory alone, even at the cost of such life? Exactly. I don't see the point. Honor? That's a foolish reason to give your life. Glory? Even worse. Just the thought frightens me. I'm not suited for battle, Professor. I suppose that's the nature of the world, isn't it? Professor, you take the time to lead me and teach me like this every day. Could the reason be that you don't want me to die on the battlefield? That's a bold statement, Professor. But for whatever reason, I want to believe you. You really are a strange person, you know. Professor, I wish to ask something of you. I don't want to kill. I don't want blood on my hands. I just want to lie on my back and soak up the sun filtering down through the trees. And I want you to help me make that a reality.
Hello, Professor. You're really on the move today. A lot to get done, I take it? I'm happy to help. Tell me, is there anything I can do to lighten your load a bit? Oh, surely there must be something. Don't be shy about asking for help. We're practically siblings, after all, cut from the same cloth. I was raised by Gerald just as you were, so we should have no trouble getting along. Huh? Did I not mention that? How thoughtless! What an embarrassing gaffe! My parents died when I was small, and I came to live in the monastery. It was an aimless existence. But sometimes a knight would pass by, wearing magnificent armor. That knight was Gerald. And the first time he laid eyes on me, he made me his squire. What was he thinking, huh? No kidding. I don't think I'll ever fully understand his logic. Later, I heard that the squire preceding me had died of a terrible plague. I looked a bit like him and was about the same age, so Gerald thought me a suitable replacement. A little nutty, old Gerald, there's no doubt about that. Quite a character. All that was more than 30 years ago. How time flies. Actually, I'm not entirely sure. You never asked him? Well, Gerald hardly seems to have aged since then. In fact, over drinks he once told me, perhaps that's a story for another day. At any rate, that's Gerald for you. One of a kind. I don't think there's anyone else quite like him. Right. Well, now you've heard my whole story. I hope that you understand now why I feel such a strong sense of attachment to you. If you're ever in a bind, just give me a holler. I'll help however I can. Indeed, indeed. Well, I'll let you get back to it. But truly, if I can take anything off your plate, don't hesitate to let me know.
We are planning a grand ball for this month. I'm sure the students will be most pleased.
Yes, certainly. However, we must not devote all of our time to frivolity. We have a new mission for you. We have found evidence of someone sneaking into an unused chapel.
It is a building that was once a temporary sanctuary, at a time when the monastery was under renovation.
This month, your class is tasked with guarding the chapel and investigating these intruders. With the recent state of affairs surrounding the Holy Church, we cannot afford to overlook any abnormality, no matter how seemingly trivial.
I am ordering a seasoned knight to assist you to ensure the safety of the students. In times like these, I am afraid we must always expect the worst.
Reporting for duty, Lady Rhea.
I thought you two could use the time to bond. And to speak of important matters.
Appreciate the thought.
Bear in mind that Gerald has a separate mission of his own. He will join you once he has finished it.
It's true. I'll be away from the monastery for a while. But when I return, I'll come and watch you work. I'll be looking forward to it.
Caspar, I've been wondering something. Would you be happier if you were the heir to House Burgleys?
Of course. My brother probably wouldn't be too happy about it, though. I've got nothing against him, and I'd hate to cause him trouble, so I guess it wouldn't make me very happy at all.
You may not want to hear this, but your brother is not a good man. He's lazy and greedy, and has always relied on the knowledge that he would inherit a title. That's my impression of him, anyway.
You don't hold anything back, do you? But to be honest, you're not too far off. He's got good reason for it, though. Our grandfather was really obsessed with his second wife. She has a son who she really wanted to become the heir. In the end, though, my grandfather had to step down sooner than expected, so everything went to my father instead. My brother is still really worried about having his future taken from him.
That's the price of taking your own desires into account when choosing an heir. The concept of nobility is decaying, and it's dragging the Empire into the ground with it.
Wow, this conversation is really going there. You may be right, but it's not like the world is ever going to change, right?
It must. I intend to create a world where the best are free to rise to the top and succeed, regardless of their bloodline. The nobility as it is now could not exist in a world like that. I'll make sure of it.
What do you think would happen to me in that kind of world? Would you appoint me as a general or minister of military affairs?
If you were the best suited for that position, I would.
Right, so my life would pretty much stay the same. I'd still have to train, get stronger, and use my abilities to cut my own path. I don't know what I'm gonna do after we graduate. I guess I'll just have to fight for you.
Is that so?
At the base, the front lines, or wherever we might be fighting, I'll be there with all my might. Ah!
Caspar, I have been waiting.
Ferdinand. Waiting for what?
I am going to give you a lesson on the righteous path of the noble.
Righteous path? What? You have a problem with my path now? You think you're more righteous than me?
That remains to be seen. I heard you stopped a robbery in town the other day. Some despicable thief who was robbing an elderly shopkeeper. Rumor has it you didn't wreak as much havoc as usual.
Hey now, I think you're underestimating me here. When the thief showed up, the old shopkeeper was so scared that he could barely stand. I didn't want the guy to pass out, so I had to stay calm while handling the situation. Rather than fighting, I gave my own money to the thief and told him to get out of there. Or else.
How, magnanimous of you.
The thief fell for it and left the shop. That's when I chased him down. I got my money back and gave that thief a good beating. He won't be back here anytime soon.
Ah, so you walloped the scoundrel. That does sound like you. I am finding this story more plausible. Nevertheless, I think...
Hold on. Now it's your turn. I heard a very interesting story about you recently.
My turn, eh? Let's hear this story then.
The way I heard it, you punched a foreign soldier right in the middle of town.
Stop. I know what you are getting at. But you have the wrong idea.
Let's hear your version then.
I had been browsing for weapons at a rundown stall. Suddenly, a man seized the stall's owner and started dragging him away. Someone with a less generous spirit might say the peddler had it coming. His wares were quite inferior after all. But without a moment's hesitation, I leapt to his aid and soundly defeated the goon.
Well done. Sounds exciting.
It was nothing, really. Anyway, the old shopkeeper let me in on the details. He said that he was a novice trader, tricked by a noble into selling low-quality goods. That ruse was about to come to light, so the noble had sent a mercenary to keep the shopkeeper silent.
So that's what really happened. I just heard you snapped and attacked some noble servant. I figured it was worth asking about.
Well, I won't deny it. I forgot my rank for a moment and let my instincts take over.
Is there something wrong with that? It sounds a little like something I would do.
And your, gentle approach to handling that robbery. That sounds like something I might do. You were not overcome by your impulses. You kept a cool head, for the most part.
I think we're starting to rub off on each other. Always looking for a way to defend justice and to lift each other up.
Partners in justice, eh? Well now, that I can agree to.
Why am I having so much trouble fighting these tall guys? They're not even stronger than me. You've got to help me come up with a strategy, Linhardt.
Is that not a waste of time? Even if I handed you a perfect strategy, something I've done in the past, you'd never follow it through.
But that's because your plans are always so complicated. But come on, I need your help.
All right, I will share with you my tactical genius. I call this my secret plan.
You already have a plan? You really are ready for anything. So, what is it?
Land the first hit. Then keep hitting them hard and fast as you can until they stop hitting you back.
So, you're basically telling me to just fight?
Dodge their attacks, keep up the assault, then go for the knees. Done.
The secret is the knees?
Being tall means short people are closer to your knees. Exploit the enemy's weakness, Caspar.
Makes sense. That doesn't sound like my style, though. I don't really want to exploit a weakness.
Then go ahead and continue losing. Or you can listen to the rest of my plan.
There's more? Fine. Tell me the rest.
Your defense is careless. The last bit of my secret is that you need to train in that area.
I won't argue with training. Let's go!
No, I don't think we should...
Come on! You've even got that height advantage you're always going on about. You're the perfect training partner for me. Quit stalling and let's go.
Fine, I'll train with you, but only for a bit.
All right, Linhardt. Come at me again.
Gaspar, please. I need water. I need water. I'm gonna go get some. Bye.
Huh? Hey, get back here. He got away.
How could the...
Oh yeah, nailed it.
I'm not setting a very good example.
Nope.
The ball. A grim reminder of my sad reality. The other nobles will be fine, I'm sure. They've all been to events like this before. But me? I'm a noble and I've never even been close to one of these things.
Hey there. Professor, I used to think I would be comfortable with all manner of experiments, so long as they provided usable results. But when I heard of Solon's work, well, I realized I'd not considered the moral and philosophical limits of what all manner of experiments might mean. Sorry, I'm not great with blood, even when I'm just thinking about it. I feel a bit ill now.
Sounds like the church has been taking in orphans from Vermeer Village. They do a good thing every once in a while, I guess. I just hope none of those kids get locked away for stepping out of line.
No.
Good. Hey, Professor. I'd love to... Hey, how about a favor?
Hello there. Pardon me.
The ball really brings back memories. Had some wild times back when I was first enrolled here. Ladies used to line up around the block for a chance to dance with the debonair, king of grappling. Yep, that's mine. No, really, I'm not lying this time.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Ah, other than the legend of the Goddess Tower, of course. Have you heard the students talking about it? On the last night of the ethereal moon, on the same night as the ball, if a man and a woman go to the Goddess Tower and make a wish, it's sure to come true. I have a wish, but I can't find anybody to make it with me.
Hey.
Whoa. I hope you're up for a challenge.
Hello there!
I wonder if Remire Village will ever be the same again. How do you recover from such a terrible event? So many dead, so much destroyed. I can't see how the whole village doesn't just end up abandoned. I wonder if so many...
Not even the tragedy in Remire Village will stop the surface dwellers from getting jazzed about a party. I get that they're probably seeking a distraction, but it still feels pretty damn selfish if you ask me. Gotta keep things upbeat, I suppose. Sorry for grousing. It just got me down is all. Things have quieted down, but nothing has been resolved. Better stay alert. Want my help, hmm? Sure, why not? But I don't do anything for free. In exchange, let me attend the lectures you give those noble kids, yeah? It's a deal. Come on by whenever you need me. If you're wondering why I won't come up to you, it's because I've got people to watch over in Abyss.
I'm glad the Remire Village situation got sorted out. But it's not over yet, is it? And I can't believe old Tomas turned out to be an enemy. Who can you trust anymore?
I can't believe this. I'm so angry right now. First it's the Death Knight, and now Tomas, but neither of them are in custody. I can't stand the thought of such evil lurking in the world. We have to do something about this. I have to do something about this.
This is most upsetting. What could I possibly do at a formal ball? I've no status, and I'm not much of a dancer. I think it would be best if I stayed put in Abyss, far from view of anyone.
It cannot be true that our siblings in arms could turn against us so. However, I will continue investigating members of the Church. To think that even someone as senior as Tomas would fall under suspicion. I know not how far to take my search. Yes, a great many strange and terrible things have come to pass this year. I must not dismiss the possibility that someone among the students is behind it all. I have a request.
Ah, the ball. It reminds me of my first such event, back in the Imperial capital. It was held by my father, the Prime Minister. I really showed off my dancing skills. Everyone was quite impressed with me.
Dancing of Fodlan is not the same as dancing from Brigid. The reason is, maybe that the music has many differences. In Brigid, dancing is different for each person. Our dancing has vigor and ferocity. There is no speech of technique for our dancing.
The ball is coming up soon. I am so excited. I can't wait to fill up on food while everyone's dancing. I even heard there'll be some prime cuts of meat. Oh, hey! I can't believe I dropped this. Thanks for bringing it to me.
Okay.
Come now, another month full of chaos. I've barely had time to catch my breath. What is the objective of Tomas and his ilk? And what makes Flame so special? Does that not bother you? Hey!
Everyone's in such a festive mood. I feel a bit out of my element here. I can't help but worry something might happen while we're all distracted. After all, our enemies are always plotting. Still, this air of levity is much more agreeable than the grim atmosphere of late.
Hi there.
Some scary things have been happening lately. I hope that this month, of all months, is peaceful. The ball is coming up and everything. Although I'm not much of a dancer, actually. Oh, that's mine! Thank you so much. I've been looking everywhere.
It's true that Tomas was employed here under the recommendation of House Ordelia. But that's all I know of the topic. I never even seen him prior to enrolling here. Even when he was supposedly in Ordelia territory, I never once saw him there. I'm still feeling bothered by all of this. But there's not much else I can say about it right now. Hey! That's mine! Thank you for finding it!
That's,
Nope.
So, Tomas the librarian was a bad guy? But he always seemed so nice. Oh, come on, Self, you're better than this. You promised you'd be on top of things this month. Oh, that! I thought it was gone for good. How did you know it was mine?
Thank you very much. Ah, thank you for bringing me this. Life without it was difficult.
This is...
Hey!
Pardon me.
Right.
Good deal. Hey, I'd love to. Hey, I'd love to. Thanks for finding this. I honestly never thought I'd see it again.
Hey. What's this about? The ball? Knights don't participate. It's an event for students, but it does pique the interest of some knights in particular. Thanks. How did you know this was mine?
Professor!
Another. What is. And what. Yes, that is mine. Thank you. Where did you find it?
Before the ball, it is customary that we host a competition of dance known as the White Heron Cup. The students are quite fond of this tradition. Each house must select a representative to compete. Their dance shall be judged by its beauty, grace, and technique. The student who is deemed the winner will be given the opportunity to train as a dancer, should they so please. It is a very precious thing, the gift of dance. I hope that you and your students will choose to participate. May I ask a favor of you?
I have looked into Tomas, but I just cannot make sense of this at all. From his behavior up until now, I never would have suspected that a man like him could turn on us. I have also discovered that his appearance has changed. It is almost as if he is not even human. What in the world is going on? Yes, this is mine. Thank you for returning it.
Well...
Garrig Mach Monastery is said to have been completed during the ethereal moon. Why, 995 years ago, as a matter of fact. That's rather a long time ago, don't you think? Every year, a ball is held to celebrate the founding, and every 100 years, a very special celebration takes place. It's a grand festival involving all of Garrig Mach. It is thrilling to read of past festivals, and I'm rather excited to experience one for myself. Once in a lifetime, eh? The next one, in 5 years, will mark a millennium. Should be quite an event. Do you imagine you'll still be here teaching then? I can't believe I left this behind. Thank you so much for retrieving it.
Really?
Oh my. Nah, Tomas wouldn't betray the church. I don't believe it. I won't believe it. There's some people in the church who hate people like me who are from Elmira, but Tomas was always real kind. But if he really was Lady Rhea's enemy, well, I'd defend her against anybody, no matter how kind they'd been in the past. Hey, that's mine! Thanks for finding it.
Well...
You know, Professor, I used to think I would be comfortable with all manner of but when I heard of Solon... Let us change the subject and settle my stomach. I assume you've heard about the dance competition? Have you chosen a representative yet? Or... oh my. You haven't, have you? Have you come to tell me I'm to be it? I think that's wise. I simply can't really be bothered. What I mean to say is, I lack the confidence. Oh, thank you. I gave up hope of ever finding it.
Run off to. The ball is soon, and she hadn't even put on any makeup. I was trying to help her out. Oh, this is mine. Thank you for returning it to me, but how did you know I lost it?
Excuse me, Professor. May I have a moment of your time? Ah, wonderful. I was hoping you might enlighten me. About yourself, that is. You see, I happen to be quite curious about you. Well, because there is something different about you. You possess an air of mystery. I could not help but notice when first we met. I am intrigued, to say the least. I find it rather difficult to put into words. Were I to wax poetic, I would say you remind me of the sea. Have you ever been, Professor? The sea is vast, boundless. On the surface, all seems still. Yet beneath that stillness, it is unfathomably deep. Within, it teems with life, yet without, one is lucky to glimpse a fleeting shadow. And yet, all one must do is cast a line to grasp hold of all that life. You cannot see it at a glance, but it is there all the same. About fish, of course. Oh, bother. I got sidetracked, didn't I? Right. About the sea. During a storm, the once calm waters become mighty enough to overturn even the vastest ships. Not unlike you. You are calm, You carry yourself with poise, yet you wield great power. My brother was uncertain of you at first. He once referred to you as a youth of dubious origin. Oh, but please do not think ill of him. He is incredibly dedicated to his work. So surely you understand why he would have doubts about one of whom he knows so little. Nobody even seems to know your age. Incidentally, how old are you? Wait, you do not know your own age? You truly are mysterious. Looking at you, it is quite difficult for me to determine. I wonder... could you be younger than your own students? Who? Me? Well, I am roughly the same age as the other youths here. Be that as it may, it is simply not the case. Oh, by the way, you should know I had actually been considering enrolling in the academy for a while. I have endured hard times, but I am so grateful that those very experiences led to my acceptance at the academy. Oh, my apologies. I am sure you have much work to do. I will not keep you any longer. We must speak again sometime, if that would be all right. Have a lovely day.
Hi. Impressive. Nice work.
Delicious! After a scrumptious meal like that, I feel that I can really seize the day.
Ooh, this is my favorite. You've got great taste.
I think I like this, but it's been a while, so I'm not sure.
I've eaten many meals in my time, but this is divine.
I can eat so much of this stuff. My stomach's growling just thinking about it.
I would be liking that greatly.
While I have little interest in food, I will admit to a weakness for this one dish.
Ooh, exquisite! This is exactly the meal I've been craving.
I wonder if we're... So many dead... I'm sorry, Professor. I'm talking about such grim and terrible things when we could be talking about the White Heron Cup. It's a big dance contest between the classes, and I simply adore dancing. I'm quite good at it, since I was a diva in an opera company, you know. I think my heart just skipped a beat. You want me to represent the class? I'm not sure when I last experienced such flattery, Professor. Hey, Professor. You're here to help me practice for the dance contest? How was that? Was my dancing everything you hoped for and more? I certainly enjoyed it. We simply must do it again. Soon.
Professor. Ah, Professor. Always a pleasure to see you. I wonder, might you have a moment to chat? Come now. You have no need to be on guard. I'd never cause you harm. You're far too valuable a specimen, well, that is to say, too valuable a member of the Academy staff. Indeed, the further my crest research progresses, the closer you come to learning the truth of your heritage. Is it not so? When I learned you bore the lost crest, the very crest of flames itself, I set about learning everything I could about your past. What was the origin of your bloodline? How have the events of your life been shaped by your lineage? I became somewhat obsessed, I must admit. Nothing so crass as an investigation. No, I researched. I spoke to mercenaries whom you've worked with in the past to learn about your life before the Academy. Of course, I also contacted Gerald and his mercenary friends. Your father does keep rather interesting company. I'm excited to share with you what I learned, but I do ask that you correct me if I am mistaken on any account. The story begins with Gerald serving as captain of the Knights of Seros. There was a woman at the monastery with whom Gerald was quite close. At first, it seemed obvious this mystery woman was your mother. Alas, that cannot be the case. The timing is all wrong. As it was told to me, the woman in question passed away shortly before Gerald left the monastery. Yet your birth occurred sometime later, while Gerald was taking work as a mercenary. This, of course, presumes your age is accurately reported. If you were born sooner, well, the story would be quite different, would it not? It is intriguing, though, yes? Why is your age so difficult to pin down? For example, Gerald never once spoke of his time serving as captain of the Knights. That's quite a secret to keep for all those years. In the end, your old acquaintances had little definitive to say about either of you. However, they all agreed on one thing. Your father and yourself were a strong pair, warriors to be respected and feared. You in particular. In fact, many came to know you as the Ashen Demon. They say you would destroy your enemies without a hint of emotion on your face. The mercenaries I spoke to revered you as a living legend of sorts. So, that is what I learned. And I admit, it is barely more than I knew before. The next step in my research is to ask your blood for answers, and hope that it is more forthcoming than your past acquaintances.
Okay.
Ah, there you are. Can we talk? I need a favor, and you strike me as the charitable type. Touchy, touchy. I'll get right to it. I need some gold. Care to help a fellow out? Hard times all around then. Well, it was worth a shot. Guess that debt collector traveled all the way to Garrick Mach for nothing. If I were you, I'd feel bad about leaving the poor guy hanging like that, but it is what it is. No, it's a lose-lose. I owe the church, too. That means any work I do here, they take a cut. The only way to escape my financial burden is to get clear out of Fodlan. Wow. Cold as ice. You know, I was just joking, yeah? We all have to decide where we belong and then fight for it. Can't let your wallet control your fate. If money was all I cared about, I never would have walked away from inheriting a baron's house. It's nothing. It was a minor house in the east of the Alliance. I like to say I stepped aside for the good of the house. Has a nicer ring to it than saying I just wasn't cut out for the gig. Or that I lacked the right temperament. My distinguished little bro took my place. Fact is, he's a much better man for the job. Don't go feeling sorry for me now. I didn't mind one bit. Truth is, I'd have been miserable in that life. Having that title was nothing but fuss. Fuss is the worst. This way of life suits me much better. And you? You showing up at Garrick Mach was a coincidence wrapped in happenstance. Your pops was a renowned mercenary leader. It can be safely assumed you'll follow in his footsteps. But don't you ever feel like that life was decided for you? I know, and I suggest you start choosing your fate instead of just letting it happen. Why keep breathing if your life isn't your own, yeah? Well, there's a decided lack of gold here, so I'll be off now. You think on what I said.
I have from his. I have all. It is all.
Before each the student, it is the.
Last month was, well, you know even better than I do. I hope this one will be more cheerful. This ball, though, I don't know. It's all new to me. Hey, I've been looking for that. How'd you know?
Okay.
Oh no. Pardon me.
Ah, it's you. Where I'm going is hardly your business. Do me a favor and mind your own, won't you? I somehow doubt your sincerity. My intuition says you'll keep nosing into what I'm doing. So, what's your deal? Worried about my well-being? Knowing where I come from, it makes sense you wouldn't be. A leisurely stroll about town in the middle of the night is obviously nothing new for me. There's no slowing me down tonight. I've got important things to attend to right now. There you go with that nose of yours. It still isn't your business. But it looks like you won't let me leave until I tell you. You'll get your way this time. There's a dispute. Or maybe treachery is the more fitting word. Regardless, a purge is required. I see I've got to spell it all out for you. One of my goons double-crossed the gang. He absconded with his boss's small fortune, my small fortune, and buddied up with another gang. Members of the gang are recognizable by their scorpion tattoos. Suffice it to say, they're not a group you want to tangle with. Despite that, I'm not about to just roll over and play dead on this. So I figured I'd pay them a little visit, have a spot of tea with their boss. Makes sense, you know? As a former mercenary, I knew you'd get it. You know how things are done in our world. I play my cards wisely. I wouldn't play if there wasn't any hope of winning. There you go being adorable again. I don't think that's a good idea, but thanks. Better head off now. I've got people waiting for me just outside of town. See you around. What is it you're after? Money? Me? Or are you just looking for someone to kill? You seem adamant, so I'll allow it. Won't hurt to have backup if things go south. I trust you, for now, but I don't know how reliable you actually are. Just so we're clear, you mess with any of my people, I'll slit your throat without hesitation. Got that?
Caspar, that equipment is new. It is suiting. It suits you.
Oh, right. Thanks.
You get more strength each day. I do not want to be falling behind.
I'm impressed with how much stronger you've gotten too. More than I have.
No, Caspar, you are impressing to me. I want to be training with you.
Just hold on, Petra.
What is wrong?
It's your attitude. How can you act so casual around me? My father killed your father. You shouldn't be able to stand the sight of me. You actually hate me, right? That's fine. I can take it. I completely understand. Just be honest. Give it to me straight. If our roles were reversed, I don't think I'd be able to forgive you. I don't understand how you could just...
You are not the one who did the killing, Caspar. Our parents had conflict, but we are not them. I have no worry about it. You should not either.
I don't need to worry? Impossible! I don't think I'll ever be...
You must. If not, the conflict will keep carrying on. If children cannot forgive, it will not ever have an ending. Is that what you are wanting?
Well, of course not.
Please, give it some thinking. I will be leaving now.
It's time I fessed up, Yurikins. I saw the whole thing.
What was it you think you saw?
It looked like you were singing to the children in the alley out back. And may I say, you were fantastic. Your performance hit me right in the heart. That was a song from Mittelfrank's Imperial Capital show, right? Ah, the good old days. You must have come back night after night if you remember it that well.
Perhaps a few times. I remember well how you looked upon that stage. You were the talk of the capital among all the nobles. Unsurpassable? Yes, that was it. It's hard to believe I'd run into that unsurpassable songstress in a place like this. Luck is on my side, as ever.
I couldn't convince you to sing tenor yourself, You're talented enough for it.
What are you getting at? Is this an invitation from the mystical songstress herself?
Male virtuosos are hard to come by. Would-be divas are a dime a dozen, but men? Not so much. And they have to be talented. As good as I am, which is very talented indeed. I think you have what it takes. If you're interested, I can...
Sorry, but no. No way in hell am I ever doing that.
Goodness. You could have stopped at no.
I can't think of anything more wretched than getting up on a stage to sing in front of a bunch of people.
You didn't seem to mind singing for those children.
The little ones weren't feeling well and couldn't sleep, so I sang them a lullaby to help. That's a far cry from standing on the same stage as you have, with all of those stuffy nobles staring at me. Truthfully, I'm not brave enough for it.
Rein it in, Yurikins. It's the opera, not the battlefield. This isn't a life or death situation.
Fair enough. Sometimes I forget what's a real threat and what isn't. But I must ask you to never bring up singing again. Not to me. Not if you want to keep things amicable between us.
How can someone that good at singing hate it so much?
Hey, you.